A very good morning to all dear children. Never mistake law for justice. Justice is an ideal and law is a tool. Today we'll start with the second session of Social Studies lesson number 4, the Supreme Court. Before we start, a quick review of what we learned yesterday. In the previous session, we learned that laws are rules that are formed to govern the behavior of the citizens of the country, very much required for the safety and welfare of the people. We learned the hierarchy of the courts from taluka courts being the lowest courts to district courts, high courts, and then the highest court being the Supreme Court. We learned about the functions of the Supreme Court pertaining to the fundamental rights given to the citizens of the country, to solving disputes between central and state governments. We also learned how the Supreme Court advises the President and Parliament in constitutional affairs and redresses the judgments given by lower courts in case of dissatisfaction shown by the petitioners. Last but not the least, we learned about the public interest litigation, wherein a person can file a petition on behalf of the public if their fundamental rights are violated. Now, let's start with today's session. So let's try to understand the working of the Supreme Court with the help of a case study. Many environmentalist organizations and NGOs from Madhya Pradesh and other regions filed a petition stating that if the height of Narmada Dam would be about above 110 meters near Navagam, the tribal people would lose their habitat forever. This conflict was resolved by the Supreme Court on 8 March 2006 by giving a judgment that it would yield positive development in the future looking at the increasing population. Secondly, water crisis in the arid areas would also be sorted out due to the construction of the dam. It was also stated that the rehabilitation of the tribal people would be given the top priority and it would be made sure that their fundamental rights were not violated. So with the help of this case study, we understand role of Supreme Court and its working. When we talk about judicial independence, it means that the courts are not influenced by any government organizations so that they can work impartially free from the pressure of the legislature and executive. For example, if you have filed a case against a person relating to a property issue and the person is influential or has got lots of powerful contacts, then the person can influence the judge or can remove the judge from it and win the case. But this kind of situation does not arise, the reason being that the judicial system is independent from any such influential things. And secondly, the judges of the High Court and Supreme Court once appointed, it is very difficult to expel them from their respective positions. Let's understand how the courts are connected at various levels. Since India is a common law country, previously decided judgments of higher courts such as the Supreme Court and High Courts are followed by the subordinate courts and lower courts. The most obvious way in which the courts are connected is the right of the party to appeal any judicial decision, in some cases through several higher courts. In this way, the losing party is able to have the decision reviewed by another independent judge or judges. The court determining an appeal will correct errors by the trial judge. It will ensure that the courts arrive at correct decisions. Let's understand this with the help of a case study. A case was filed by the residents of the southern part of Ratlam against Ratlam municipality, stating that although they had constructed new roads, but in spite of several applications to the health department, they had not looked into the issue of environmental pollution that was caused due to dirty water from the tunnel behind their houses. The residents appealed in the Taluka court and the magistrate gave the judgment in the favor of the residents. The municipality was ordered to cleanse the place and complete the work of a closed drainage within 15 days. The municipality was not satisfied with the judgment of Taluka court and appealed in the district court, and there the judge of the Taluka court was declared unfair. The residents again appealed in the High Court and the judgment was given in favor of the residents, stating that the municipality would be given 7 months to construct closed drainage system and 2 years to complete their entire work. The municipality appealed in the Supreme Court against the decision of the High Court, where the decision was taken that the chemical and dye plants which were responsible for the pollution would be closed with the joint efforts of the municipality and state government. So in this way, we can understand how all the courts are interconnected. Now let's understand who can appeal in the court. Any citizen can appeal in a court of law if his fundamental rights are violated. Talking about poor people who earn their living on a daily basis, it becomes very difficult for them to go to the court as the legal procedures are expensive as well as time consuming. Secondly, for a poor person who is illiterate, it becomes very difficult to go to the court and demand justice. That is the main reason why the Supreme Court announced the provision of PIL or public interest litigation in the year 1980. So in this way, the Supreme Court has made an effort that maximum people can reach up to court for justice. Any organization or an individual can file a petition on behalf of the people from the deprived classes and help them get justice. If the Supreme Court finds that the PIL is inappropriate or has been made for personal interest, it has the right to punish the person or the institution filing the petition also. So dear children, with this we come to the end of this chapter. Thoroughly watch both the videos and try to understand the various topics covered in the chapter. Read the chapter and write the exercises given in the notebook. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.